Alrighty, the number one question that most women in their 40s ask themselves is, who am I? Who the heck am I? Like, after my kids are growing up, after they're leaving, what's next? Like, okay, I've been living for my kids. I've been here for my kids, made it to every single game. What's for me now? And this is where I tell women, I know what it's like, and this is your chance to reinvent yourself. Alrighty? And you end up like asking yourself the question of, who am I? What's next? Am I going to be traveling, or am I just going to take on more tasks, more jobs, and then just keep feeling this sense of overwhelm? Or am I now going to start like pursuing my dreams, living my dreams? Um, you start asking yourself those questions like, what am I going to do now? Am I going to hang out with friends? You start thinking, like, you start being a little bit more intentional with who you are, what you're doing. And it starts to get kind of lonely. It does. It's a crazy period. I tell people that 5 years ago, I lost my job. I was fired during COVID. And it was maybe my little push to like go out there and, hey, let's see what you can do for yourself. But I will say that like my reinvention period started 2 years ago when I actually had to live in my homes that I was flipping at the time in real estate. And I was in a horrible relationship. I think back now and I'm like, man, it's crazy everything that I even subjected myself to. But it was like a very much needed process that I had to go through. I went through depression. I was away from my kids for 8 months. I was on the East Coast. I had no family. It was just this other person, 2 huge projects I had to get done. I'm trying to battle depression. I'm also trying to juggle a very horrible toxic relationship while figure out who I am. And I'm just like, it was like, I read my journal now that I kept at the time and I'm like, oh my gosh, who was she? Like, she needed a hug. Like, I think back and I'm like, I need a hug. I did. And it's like, it's a period where I wish I would have had somebody there to help me. And I had to do it by myself. And I'm kind of glad now. Now I'm like, man, like, you felt all that. You went through that. And I wish if I would have had someone at the time to guide me through it, I wish I would have had that. And that is why I've pretty much taken it upon myself to help other women to go through that, because we're not given the proper tools to get through certain things in life. And especially after we've poured our hearts and everything into our kids, it's like, okay, we're trying to now figure out who we are. Here we raised kids not even knowing who we were. And now it's like, okay, start over now. This is all stuff we should have done when we were younger. We should have known who we were, what we wanted, but we didn't get that opportunity just because life was like that, right? So we couldn't slow it down. So now it's kind of like, who the fuck are we? What are we doing? What's next? And it's crazy. The other day, I saw my son's friend, one of my son's friends, who's 26, and he's just like, yeah, I broke up with my girlfriend, or we broke up, but now I'm going to go to school. I'm going to be a nurse. And he looks so upset. And I'm like, why are you upset? You have no kids. Why are you like, oh, and so I'm like, okay, so you're already in the nursing program? And he's like, no. But I'm like, why aren't you traveling? And he's like, I know. He's like, your son's always telling me to go visit him. And I'm like, go visit him. Like, you have no kids. And I'm like, it's like, who turned off his spark? Who turned off his imagination? And he knows so much. Like, he is such an intelligent kid. And I'm like, you can work anywhere with the knowledge that you have. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yes. What your level of industry, like, Everybody needs that. And it's crazy. Like, people don't see their value. And all I can say is you need to have a vision. Alrighty. And I know so many moms hit me up and they're like, why am I not where I should be? Always. They're always asking me, why am I not where I should be? And I tell them, you're not going to be there until you actually see it. What does it look like? And they're like, don't be ridiculous. No, you're being ridiculous. Like, you want to get somewhere that you never even seen. That's like saying, I want to go to San Jose, but you're driving to San Diego. It's ridiculous, right? It's like just getting in the car and driving. And it's like not even putting it into your GPS. Once you put it in there, it's like, that's the intent. And I tell moms, like, it's just we weren't taught these things. And once you are taught these tools, you're like, oh man, wow. Everything I could have accomplished, everything I could have saved, I could have been home with my babies, raising them. I could have, yep, all that stuff. But instead, like, we just thought, like, we got to work harder. You know, we got to be tired. We have to be exhausted, or that means we're not doing enough. When it's like, that's not how that is. We were told, you know, things were backwards. But the reinvention process, it doesn't even have to be ugly. It's supposed to be amazing. And I realize that now, because when I was going through it, I was like, ooh, this is hard. And it's crazy. I tell people the faith of an entrepreneur is hands down the biggest faith I think you'll ever see. Because people say, I have faith in God. And they put God as another person, individual, spirit, whatever. And they don't put faith in themselves. They're like, no, that I got to be humble. You can't have faith in God if you don't have it in yourself. I'm just saying, you can't lend $1 if you don't have it, right? If you only have 90 cents, that's all you can lend. And the thing is that God's creating within us. So you better have faith in yourself, because God's in here creating through you. Like, hey, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can fuck shit up. You know, let's see what our full potential is. Like, this is Earth. Let's create this life. He's not just like, yeah, figure it out. No, he's not out there judging you either. He's living through you. Like, let's see what we can do, where we can get. Let's see what our purpose is, because we all do have a purpose. And that's something else I like to touch on. A lot of us are working with companies that morals and values don't even align with ours. And you are selling your soul. Just saying. I've been there, where it's like, hey, do this. And it's like, well, that doesn't go with who I am, what I believe. You don't have a choice. Do it. Like, stop living like that. That's living in fear. It's not living in faith, because you don't have faith in yourself. And you can do anything you want. You can have anything you want. You just have to be deserving of it. Like, and I don't mean like you don't deserve it. You have to tell yourself you do. Because so many people are like, no, I don't deserve that. I'm not worthy of that. Yeah, you are. Yes, you are. Like, it's just crazy, the things that we tell ourselves. Alrighty? So, if you enjoyed this, thank you. Subscribe. Okay, share it. We got to keep this going. Because I'm just calling this like my closet confessions. Telling you guys everything I can. Alrighty? We're out here adding value. We're out here just helping people spread love, be kind to each other, and crush their fucking dreams. Because in this lifetime, that's what we're here for. We're here to create the life we want. We're not here to ask for days off. We're not here to